Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Simone here, and today we have... Introduce yourself.
Lovely wife Helen.
No. That isn't that who you are.
I'm AJ. I'm the Fionky Dunk.
He is my fiance. We wanted to... Oh, sorry. We wanted to film a video because we got quite a few questions. I posted basically that we were going to film a video talking about different questions people might have. So it could be about the engagement, about the wedding, just about us in general, whatever.
We're doing that, are we? The whole engagement thing? Like, what's that?
I think you put a ring on it.
I did.
So we thought we would film the video and answer the questions. We got like maybe 8 to 10 questions, I think.
I think so.
Very
I heard
excited.
that it was blowing up on Twitter a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't blowing up on Twitter.
Well, more than one post.
So we have some questions. I'm going to answer them. AJ doesn't know what the questions are yet. I've seen the
clueless.
questions, but to be fair, I saw them a long time ago because I posted that we were filming this like 2 months ago. It feels like probably wasn't quite that long ago.
It's been so long since you said we were going to post
yeah,
this.
but
Well,
we
I got
haven't.
sick, so.
Yeah, AJ got sick, so we haven't actually filmed. So you're feeling better now?
Yeah.
Good. So we're going to, I'll read the questions and then we will answer them. Okay, so the first question that we got was from the lovely Victoria, from What Victoria Read, and she asked, which aspect of the wedding is each of you most excited about?
I think you should go first with this.
I feel like I'm most excited to like do the like once we're married, like officially married and whatever, and we go to like the reception, like dinner and stuff. Like we've been to a tasting event now, which was the best thing ever. Yeah. And yeah, it was so lovely. Oh, there's a dog. I feel like I'm most excited about like the meal and like everybody kind of being there and seeing like everything we've done and like the culmination of everything that we've kind of put together, and like just having all our friends and family, our friends and family, all of our friends and family there, and like everybody together and just having a good time. Kind of like the party, I guess, afterwards. I think the other stuff's going to be amazing, don't get me wrong, like I'm really excited, but I think that once that's done, we can kind of be like, oh, we can stop stressing about like, is everything going to make sense and is it going to work? That dog is annoying.
I've never heard that dog ever. That's not the dog that yips in the morning.
That's just a dog deciding, you're filming, guess what?
I'm gonna interrupt you.
Anyway, yeah, so that's the thing for me. I think it's going to be like the party and everyone just enjoying themselves and like letting their hair down and stuff.
I was literally, when I was going to say, to see how everything comes together, because we honestly, there's so much, just, if you've not done it, it's so much work.
It's so much planning and stuff.
If you have done it, good on you. But honestly, it's because we have so many cool things that are going to be coming together. It feels like, I mean, obviously people have had like way like bigger, more lavish kind of weddings and whatever else. But for us, because we're self-funding everything and just seeing everything come together,
yeah,
it's
each little piece. That
we have cool elements that will just to look at everything and go, we did that. That's
it's easy for us to look at things separately. Like all the little things that we've done, like say little things, but like each section. Yeah. But when it all is at the same time happening, I think that's going to be the special part.
And then seeing you in your dress, that's just going to blow me away. Absolutely.
I need to see me in my dress first because I haven't even been dress shopping yet.
No, yeah.
So I have no idea.
Every little bit's going to come together, and I just hope no one gets too drunk.
No.
They will.
Okay, this is still from Victoria. Which aspect of the wedding planning has been the most difficult?
So far, I think has been kind of keeping it rolling. I don't think there's anything that's like an individual thing that's hard to do, but it's the keeping that pace going. I think
yeah, because it's quite easy to like not think about it. Like we moved in November, so I think it was easy for us to not forget about the wedding, but like we had other things to think about at that time. So we were obviously moving, and it was like moving stuff in and like arranging, like me getting a new job and like us trying to figure stuff like that out. So it was easy for us to like sort of almost take our minds off it for a bit. And then suddenly we were like, oh my god, like now when we're filming this, today is the 4th, so tomorrow is 7 months to the wedding.
Yeah.
And like that to me sounds terrifying to like think, not because I'm scared of actually getting married, because I can't wait. I think it's gonna be so exciting. But the actual like thinking about how much stuff we still have to do. I mean, to be fair, we do have a lot to do still, but we have also done a lot.
We have. We've cracked the back of a lot of different things, but yeah, we have gotten a bit sidetracked.
I think our other thing is that like finding the venue wasn't very difficult because it was one of the first ones we found and we loved it. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
But I think it was then trying to just coordinate like all the things, so like making sure that because obviously like, well, I say obviously, we live like 3-4 hours away from where we're getting married, because we originally chose where we were getting married based on where I was living at the time, and other things that have happened. Yeah. So I think the most difficult thing as well is just making sure that, because every supplier, like whether it's flowers, whether it's the DJ, whatever, we have to make sure they're all near Swindon where we're getting married. I don't know if I even said that before. Rather than where we are. So then we also have to then commute quite a lot to like see people and have meetings and stuff. So I think that's probably a bit more difficult as well. That's probably the thing that's the most difficult in terms of just the distance and from where we are to where we're getting married. In
sort of like an arty way, we've gotten the broad strokes kind of done. Now we're just trying to get the fine detail in, and trying to get everything coordinated and trying to find the centerpieces and the
little things that I say little things, but like the kind of details of stuff.
The meat.
Yeah, I guess so.
And we still have to have the meal plan kind of thing.
The meeting of the catering meeting is what we're having next.
We've had the food.
The food was great.
If I haven't done it already, then.
Yeah. Okay, Victoria's next question on the same tweet. How did you guys meet? So we lived together. That's how we met, which sounds weird, but basically we met at university. We lived in the same halls building, and you moved in after me.
It was a weird situation, really potted history. I started university in 2008. I then did my first year, got evicted in my second year, at the start of my second year, and then a couple of months later the university found me a place in halls.
Which was the halls that I was living in, and somebody moved out that was living down my, like, at the end of the corridor where I was.
And they were reserved only for first years. After that you had to go find a place, but because of my situation they found me a room.
And somebody moved,
And it just happened to be that it was in the same hall as you.
Yeah. So we, like, spoke and got on well in the first year. We were definitely not...
passing.
Yeah, we would sit and talk for like long times, but we weren't in any way. I would never have expected that we would get together.
No, I think it would have been if we'd said it would have been a flight of fantasy. We'd never, genuinely, hand on heart, we would never have thought we would have been here today having this conversation at all in our own house.
Mm-mm. And then the second year, I moved into a house with 2 people from my law course, and then AJ was commuting up from Plymouth where he lived at the time, and then ended up staying at our house once by a complete accident.
It was, yeah,
because he was late to book into the cafe. He was meant to be staying at the cafe B&B thing.
Yeah,
and then he ended up staying in our spare room, and then we got talking and just
kept staying.
Really. Yeah, I couldn't get rid of him.
To be honest, it happened a couple of times. First time was a mistake. Second time was like I kind of engineered it, and then as the truth comes out now, and then we just sort of carried on from there, and then it just clicked, and then we had more and more in common. Had a great laugh, and my cooking endeavours kind of became a sticking point for us.
Yeah,
and and it just carried on really.
And then I asked him. Didn't I?
You did. You got sad.
I was the instigator of
you
that.
Did.
I was like, be with me.
Essentially, yeah, because it was one of those things where I was kind of like, fresh out of a relationship, don't really know what to do, and like, I don't know if I want to commit or if it's too dangerous or if it's because the distance was a thing as well.
Yeah.
And I was humming and hawing over it, typical male, awful.
And I was like, you either do it.
You're like, commit now, and I was like, okay, fine, I will.
Yeah. And now look, 8 years later.
And then it took 7 years for me to pop the question. And
okay, so the next question was also from Victoria, but this was on the Instagram stories poll question thing I put up, which was, how did AJ propose?
Oh, did we tell the whole story?
Very, very long story short, we actually broke up.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks before we got engaged. So obviously we didn't know we were getting engaged 2 weeks later. So
So technically,
we were, yeah.
I proposed to someone I wasn't even going out with at the time.
Basically, we had obviously, like I said, been long distance for like 7 years, and it had started to take its toll a little bit.
Yeah.
We were not having a great time at that stage. Then we ended up breaking up over the. It was on a phone call. We broke up, and then basically, I don't know how long later. 2 weeks later.
Couldn't take
of
it.
the longest, most horrible, heartbreaking 2 weeks of our lives.
Yeah.
AJ turned up at my house.
Like 2 hours away from where I live.
He literally rang me 10
An hour and a
minutes
half.
away. Like, I've come. I thought he was coming to just drop off my stuff, like the stuff that he'd had like at his house.
Lying around.
And then we went and sat on a field under a tree. It was summer. It was June the 29th. I can tell you that much. We went and sat under a tree, in the sun, like I said, and we talked for ages. Yeah, about an hour, I was going to say. And then we decided to get back together. So we were technically together when you asked. We decided to get back together, and kind of see how things went. And then AJ pulled the ring out.
I did.
And asked, and I remember my reaction initially was, I literally said to him, I was like, don't ask me that unless you mean it.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
And then he asked, I said yes. Then I went home and told my dad that.
Yeah.
He was like, I remember going into the house, like, obviously having left, like, heartbroken, like, this is probably the end. This is just me getting my stuff back and, like, dropping my stuff off. But I think I even brought your hoodie out, like, I have your hoodie, like, you can have it
wrapped
back.
over your arm. Yeah.
And then, yeah, that was that. And then I went back and was like, so,
Yeah. And he was like,
sorry, what?
yeah, like, oh, it just happened exactly.
I remember my dad was like, are you sure that's what you should be doing? And I was like, I think so.
Pretty confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that went from there.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
very much a
we have a
positive
hilarious proposal story.
We do.
Okay, next is from Gaia Athena, and I love Gaia, so please go and check out Gaia's channel. She said, I'd love to hear about your wedding plans. Have you picked a nice dress/outfit? So I have not yet been dress shopping. It's the one thing that genuinely really stresses me out. As somebody who is not the kind of like size 10 to 12, like whatever, I'm not the biggest fan of shopping in general. Like, I get very flustered. I don't particularly like it. I feel like I don't like people looking at me, which is great when you're, you know, gonna get. So,
Centre of attention.
yeah, I feel like I am struggling with the idea of it. I will do it, and I'm gonna book the appointment hopefully for later in March. But yeah, the fear, I think, is genuinely what gets me. But I am excited because I obviously want to look nice on the wedding day. And I want to feel comfortable in what I'm wearing. So I'm just, yeah, it's one of those, like, catch-22s, really. But I'm excited. What about you?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very bad memory.
Have you picked a nice outfit for the wedding?
I haven't picked one yet, but I've got a fairly good idea as to what I'm going to be having. We've got a good colour scheme. I'm not sure I'm going to be the most masculine in a blush pink tie, but I think it's going to look good. I'll pull it off. Clip-on tie or full tie?
Well, whatever you want.
Should I have a little dicky bow?
No.
No dicky bows?
No, it's not that posh.
Thumbs up if you want to see a dicky bow. I've got two.
Yeah, they're not pink though, are they?
No.
The next question is, has the planning been stressful? I don't think it's been stressful. I think the amount of it is a little bit like overwhelming when you think
daunting.
about it as daunting as like a whole thing. I don't think the planning's actually been stressful though, in terms like we haven't yet found anything that's really come up that has caused any issues or like, you know, we've kind of had to struggle through.
There's been one.
What was that?
The cake.
No, it's not stressful.
Well, the number of times I've said I want a 5-tier cake and you're like, you want a 1-tier cake.
A 5-tier cake. I want a 3-tier cake. That's a normal size cake. I don't need a 5-tier cake.
4?
Well, you 4 can... No.
See, this is the thing. On our Pinterest, we've got a huge Pinterest board and everything, and we've got so many different ideas on there. And I've gone on... I do that thing where...
He passive-aggressively sends me pictures or attaches it to this blooming
11-tier cake
thing, and I'm like, oh, and he's like, oh, look at these, but he doesn't say it to me. What he does is he adds it to our shared Pinterest board, so it just pops up on my phone, and I'm like, we're not having that.
I do it really passive-aggressively.
Like, we don't have that many people coming, and we need that much of a cake.
But if there's leftover cake, I can have it.
I'll buy you a cake from Morrison's.
Ooh.
She also asked, how soon is your wedding? So we are getting married on, shall I say the date?
Yeah, Monday the 5th of October.
Monday the 5th of October of 2020. So this year, 7 months time.
For those who like it, 5/10/2020.
Yeah, we didn't plan it that way.
No.
In fact, initially we wanted to get married in September, but the venue that we were getting married at, or we are getting married at, not we were, it didn't have much availability, did it? And then we were thinking about it, and also my sister is a bridesmaid, and she's away in Australia for 2 weeks, like a few weeks. She's away for 2 weeks in September. So it would have been really difficult in terms of like bridesmaids fittings and all that stuff. So we ended up pushing it back to October, which I think has actually probably worked out better for us anyway. Given us a little bit more time as well. So yeah, that's always good.
Bit of breathing room.
Yeah. And then Gaia also asked, how long have you and AJ been together and how did you meet? So we've already said how we met. We've been together for 8 years now. In December, just gone, it was 8 years. But we've known each other for 10 years now.
10 years?
No.
Yeah, 2008, 2009.
2010.
Yeah, so it's been, oh good God, it's been over 10 years.
2010. We've known each other for 10 years. That's quite scary. I didn't think about that before. Yeah,
a third of my life I've known you.
Over a third of mine.
Yeah, scary now.
I was only 18 when we met. And now I'm old.
You're not old.
Not as old as you.
Thanks. I like a fine wine. Or milk, whichever way when it comes to aging.
Okay, next up, so the lovely Doris. You remember Doris?
I remember Doris.
So Doris commented on the Instagram stories, and she asked about the proposal. So we've obviously already talked about it, but thank you for asking, Doris. It was lovely.
It was very tearful.
It was. We cried a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you were crying before you even
asked. I was a mess. The whole thing. Honestly, those 2 weeks when we weren't together, it was just agony. I went to work and people were like, oh God, what's wrong with him? Kind of thing.
Like, who died?
And literally, genuinely, it was awful. And I couldn't do my work. I have to talk to customers all day long. You guys must know the feeling. And I'm like, I don't like you customers.
To be honest, it was actually the longest time that we've not spoken for, though. Because although we had been long distance for like 7.5 years, so it had been a really long time, we
always messaged each other.
We were always we'd either Skype in the evenings, we'd text, we'd message, like never. I cannot remember another time when we spent 2 weeks not talking at all.
I do not miss Skype.
No,
at all.
Skype,
it was
when you're like trying to talk and it's like the circle of doom.
It was like the pixelated stuff, and we try and play 8-ball. Was it
8-ball pool?
Mini clip and something like that, just to keep things interesting. And and we tried playing Tetris, and I got too competitive.
And I kept being, and Emily didn't like it.
All these different things you try and do to keep things interesting.
Yeah.
And we were battling against really bad connections all the time, and added to the stress and stuff. I don't miss that.
No, I don't miss being able to just go downstairs and be like, hi.
Hi time.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, so I don't know how many there are. Oh, okay. So Emily from Novel Novels, who we love, asked she asked, what is your colour scheme? So we have picked a colour scheme. It's like a blush pink colour. For like the bridesmaids dresses and like all the other stuff, but we also really like the kind of like natural like foliage green colour. So we've kind of I'll try and put maybe a picture up of maybe like a couple of Pinterest pictures that we've seen that we liked the kind of style of. Obviously we're going to incorporate that in how we want to do that, but I think that will be really nice. Oh bless.
Hi Leanne.
Leanne's just messaged me because we have a FaceTime date at 11 and it's now 10:25, saying she's ready when we are, so that's exciting. It's her birthday today, so she wanted to open her presents. You right?
Yeah, I was going to say go over and say happy birthday.
Yeah, I mean, this is going up next week, so it will have been last week, but go and say hello anyway. Go and check out Leanne's channel because she's amazing and I love her. Okay, so then we had questions from Moose from the channel Arrow Moose, who again is another channel, book channel I love, so you need to go and check her out. She says, does your wedding have a theme? If so, why did you pick it? Do you have a colour scheme picked out? So obviously we talked about the colour scheme. Does our wedding have a theme?
It doesn't really have a theme like that, because if you talk like Batman, X-Men, that kind of thing. We don't have a
Yeah,
theme
we're not.
like that.
It's not really themed in that respect. I think
It's traditional.
with our own twist on it, though.
It's like a modern tradition, isn't
and
it?
I feel like it's quite homely. Like it feels quite like it's kind of like an elevated level of like homely, cozy, like we love it, and I hope everyone else does.
Essentially, it's like I think when we talked about it, we said like a classical wedding, in the sense that it's going to be the white dress, it's going to be the suit, the tie, that kind of thing. It's
really
going to be
pretty.
the lovely. It's going to be that really sort of, how do you put it, like just that really refined, mature kind of wedding theme style, more than anything
it's
else.
Just the style that we like, I think.
Yeah.
I think like I don't know. I just am really excited about it.
Because Simi, when we were initially talking about it years and years ago, you said that you didn't want a big wedding because I suppose
I don't think it is a big wedding though.
No, but you wanted a modest kind of.
I kind of want my initial had thought about weddings when I was like a bit younger was the kind of like, you know, there's 20 people there and it's really cozy and just like a little thing, and we definitely have more than that. But I also think that I don't know who I would not invite.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like we have between 70, there's like 60 for the day and then like 100 for the night, like overall for the night. So I just don't think there's anyone I would be like, oh, I don't want to invite you.
No, you've got.
But then there are also people I keep thinking, oh, I haven't invited them, I need to invite them. So it's kind of a mix. Obviously, we don't know. Not everybody will be able to make it, I'm sure.
I tried to push the boat out a little bit because you're talking about, you know, themes and styles and what have you. And I initially wanted to go really big. I wanted to have Google Exeter Cathedral.
Yeah, he wanted to get married in a cathedral, which in itself was never going to happen.
I'm like, honestly, when you look at the pictures of that, you can see why I'd want to get married there. But at the same time, it was like, given given the cost of the church as it is, could you imagine what the cathedral would have been?
Oh my god!
Because it's got like 50 bells or something, and it's just you know.
Yeah.
So you've come up, I've come down, and
we've kind of settled somewhere.
Yeah, we've got a nice happy middle ground.
Yeah.
So we don't have a theme as such. We just have like a nice mature. Sort of
like a vibe, I guess.
Yeah,
it's more
like
of
a nice
a vibe
vibe
of the wedding.
And of course, the colour is the blush pink, white, and green.
So then Julie from Julie the Bookworm on Instagram said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you?
11.
Like 50.
Okay.
I beat you. I'm more excited.
You always beat me.
I'm so excited. Honestly, we were talking about this the other day on the way to the tasting event. We were saying that like it doesn't really feel real yet. Like I feel like if I think. Like, I can't think to myself, you're going to get married this year. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I kind of always have this
I'm
feeling.
too excited about it, that's what it is.
I guess since the tasting event, or since being invited to the tasting event and going, that bit was stressful. Because there were various other components in the day and the timing.
Getting there was stressful, not the actual event itself, though.
No, the event was smooth.
But it was it was just, like, trying to, like, work out time. Basically, what happened when we go to Swindon to the wedding venue, we tend to like try and do lots of other things as well at the weekend. So like we see my dad, we see my mum, we see my sister, we go to we went to see Emily and her family, which was all amazing. We had a wonderful weekend. It was lovely, but the time component of trying to like figure out where we need to be when, because like, you know, going to see like my parents aren't together anymore, so I have to like make separate time to see each of them, and like going to see Emily, obviously we spent the day with them, which was lovely, and then it was just the kind of, and we ended up staying in like 2 different travel lodges on 2 different evenings in different places, and it was the kind of admin, I guess, of trying to figure out where we need to be, when we need to be there, and sort of sorting that out as well.
That bit was
stressful. So that was stressful, but I don't think that and literally I remember we got to the Swindon Travel Lodge and booked in, and we literally had 15 minutes to get changed. I put on makeup, probably the fastest I've ever put makeup on in my life. It looks
so good as well.
I literally was like
I've never seen anyone, and so they initially go, I will finger paint the makeup.
I was literally like, because the thing is, I haven't worn makeup in so long, because I don't wear it on my channel really anymore, like, unless, you know, for any specific reason, but I don't go out, like, the thing is for me, I think now I've come to the point where I just don't put makeup on for the sake of filming. Like, if I have makeup on, or I'm gonna wear makeup, like, I will for that, and if I'm filming at the same time, great. But, like, I don't put makeup on just to sit in front of a camera and film and then take it back off again, because it just seems like a complete waste of time. So, yeah, we literally, I was there, I had my bag of makeup and I was like, I didn't bring a brush, so I had my beauty blender, which is like one of the tiny ones, not one of the normal sized ones. And I was like, okay, this literally, it was crazy, and I was just there like, we're like trying to rub in like bronzer. It was a bit of a nightmare, but we got there in the end.
And I had the male problem of trying to find the right trousers to match the suit jacket and everything else.
Yeah, because we hadn't had time before we left, because we left at 5 o'clock on Friday morning.
Yeah.
We didn't have time before we left to like for us to like pack properly. We'd literally put a load of stuff together and we're like, oh, we'll sort it when we get there, and then that never happened. And then there was the parking issue, because the Travelodge itself didn't have parking. You had to park in a paid for like multi-story car park round the corner, which we didn't know. And then I didn't have any Wi-Fi, and my mobile data was dead, and oh my god, it was a nightmare. Looking back on it, I said at the time, I was like, we'll look back at this and it'll be funny.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was not funny at all.
We started to get a bit snappy at each other as well, because I was like, I don't drive a car normally, and I'm a biker, so that I'm trying to get used to the car and getting around the city, and I was like,
it was a bit of a mish, wasn't it?
But we got there.
We did get there.
Although, having gotten there and everything, I still feel a bit like, did that really happen?
Yeah,
like
I'm like, what?
Did we go to something like that posh? It was so cool.
That was the last one. Oh, also, just a quick thing. We also had a little heart message from Christina and Lynn on Instagram as well. So I just want to shout you out as well, because that was really lovely. And we're very excited. So yeah, we are really looking forward to getting married, as I said. That is our Q&A today. If you have any other questions that you want to ask us, whether it's about the wedding, whether it's just about us in general, whether you just want to ask us some questions, whatever, leave them in the comments down below. Maybe we'll do a part 2.
Yeah, good.
And maybe we'll probably do a video after the wedding to talk about like how it went, what we ended up doing and stuff, and maybe like tips for people getting married and stuff. Maybe we'll do some stuff like that.
Don't do this.
Like things that we've learned along the way, maybe stuff like that. So yeah, let us know if there's any videos you want us to do either now or in the future, because we're happy to film. I live with them now, so yes, I
can't escape.
But yeah, that is the video today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it and you learned a little bit about us. As you can tell, as I said, we're very excited. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And let us know down in the comments below if you are married, and let us know a bit about you and your wedding, and we'd love that. And if you're not married, do you want to get married? Is it something you're interested in? And yeah, anything like that, let us know all about that in the comments. We'll be very excited to read about it. And we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.